The kind of man that you want to be with would never want to be with you because you've cut yourself off from your sense of purpose. The kind of man that you want to be with is not the majority of men. The majority of men who are just like, yeah, I just want to feel stronger than you, and that's the only thing that matters. That's not who you want to be with. The kind of man you want to be with is going to take longer to find. You know, if there were so many of them, then this whole world would look very different. And the further along you do go in your spiritual journey, your dharmic journey, the pool does become smaller. But you want that because it means you're actually attracting a way higher and more in alignment caliber of person, right? Like if I just wanted to eat, I could go to many, many McDonald's. It's all around here. But if I want to have organic, grass-fed, gluten-free, paleo, vegan, there is one grocery store in town that has that. And it's only open certain hours of the day. So I could just say, well, most food out there is McDonald's. And it's true. Most food out there is McDonald's. Most men out there, you will not want to date. However, what you are desiring exists because everything in reality has its opposite. One thing cannot exist without its opposite. You know, if you look at the light spectrum, it's like there is red and there is purple. You know, there is light and there is shadow. There is night and there's day. There is winter and there is summer. Everything exists in pools. So if you exist, he exists. However, you are not going, I don't want to use the word find or even attract because there's no action you actually need to take for this. You're not going to be in calibration with him when you are coming from this energy of centering what you think a man would want, because that is not what he wants you in. He doesn't want to be with a woman who's making choices or covering herself or cutting off parts of herself because she thinks that's what she needs to be in relationship period. He wants to be with the person who is so fully her, that meets so fully him. And when the two yin and yang come together, it's in perfect harmony. But if you are this yin piece and he is his yang piece, but you are trying to change your shape and flatten yourself out because you feel like you're going to be too much, he's not going to fit into your space. Even if you find him, you're not going to be in alignment. You need to get to a level where you are so fully yourself, unwaveringly. And I say this because I feel like sometimes we get these peaks of ourselves of like, oh my God, like this is who I really am. And we like share a video of ourselves, like speaking our truth or dancing, or, you know, we go out and we coach someone or whatever the thing is. Then we go back into, what will they think? It's too much. They're going to judge me. I can't dress this way. I can't talk this way. I can't show up this way. And we put ourselves back into the cage. If you are trading your liberation for love, that is not love. That is perceived love. Because true love will never have you sacrifice your liberation. True love is liberation, because the only way to be in true love is to be your full self, your full 100% unapologetic, full spectrum, take up all of the space, let all of the parts of me be seen self. Like without that, it's not true love. Even if you're in it, you're in the basketball relationship. You're not in true love. So if what you want is to truly be in love, to truly have sacred union in this lifetime, the predecessor is to be your full self, including the parts of you that will repel some men. You want that. You know, I used to think, oh my God, like, what will guys think of my podcast? You know, I remember I matched with some guy when I was living in London, and he was a very cute guy. And that episode, the episode that came out that week is God is my Dom. And this guy was from the Middle East. And I am like, what is he going to think of my podcast? Like, I'm literally talking about having kinky sex with God in this episode. Like, this is a lot. What is he going to think? Oh my God, I need to like mute him from my story so he doesn't find out about my podcast. Yeah, like that's off to a really great start, right? I actually did mute him from my stories. I'm going to be real. And then I ended up meeting up with him and it was like total friend vibe. Like it was, he's a very nice guy. It was just like, so then I didn't really care and I unmuted him from my stories. And since then, he has like become my biggest fan. He loves everything I do. He's always liking my stuff. He's so sweet. He's so supportive. And here I created this whole story around, I'm going to be too much for him. He's going to hate me. It was bringing up all of my like Middle East Muslim conditioning of what's he going to think about me and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like going into a full spiral and I was like, he cannot know this about me. Meanwhile, simultaneously wanting to date him. Like what? But I'm being honest with you, this is where my thoughts were at last year. And so once that wall was gone of like, oh, I don't even want to date this person. I can just be my full self. It was me being my full self that was attractive to him. The parts of me that I tried to hide were the parts of me that actually ended up being the most interesting. And today we're just friends. So I share this because sometimes we create a story around, if I share this part of myself, I won't be loved. I won't be accepted. I'll be castrated. I'll be alone forever. So I want you to think about what that is for you. Is it the way that you deep down inside want to show up on social media? The things that you want to talk about? The ideas you have, the way you want to dress, the way you want to dance, the way you want to sing? What are the parts of you that you feel like are too much? That if I show this part of me, he's going to think I'm way too much and I have to limit this. People can't know this until later on. I have to reel it in. Once I'm in the relationship, then I can show him this part of myself. What's that part for you? Now I want you to think, and we can use myself as an example on this. Now imagine me and this guy. Let's say, we went on a date and we hit it off, but I was just a little bit more of my conservative Middle Eastern girl self. We start dating and we start getting to know each other. And then little by little, I'm like, by the way, I have this podcast. He starts listening to it. He's like, oh, haram, what is this you're saying? And then I start to show like, oh yeah, I'm making music. I share that my music video. What is this? I definitely would not be dressing like this. Like I would have become a shell of myself had I entered into this relationship. I would have stopped growing last year. And it was actually before my album even came out. So likely the album would not have come out had I entered into that relationship. My entire career and trajectory of my life would not have happened had I entered into that relationship. And I share this because we don't realize how big these implications are. We think, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't need to show up like that on social media. I don't need to do that. It's not that big of a deal. If it's making him feel any type of way, I'd rather not. So imagine if I did that. I would not have released any of the episodes I've had in the past year. I would not have stepped into my music career, which is the thing that has given me the most self-love. And I would definitely not be here sharing this wisdom with you in a 2000s pink little cute top here, So I share this because I do believe that God actually protects us and blocks us from the relationships that it knows will delay our progress, but it's up to us to listen. Like we can just choose to ignore the signs. We can choose to be like, but I really want to be in love. I just really want to be in love. Like I just miss being in love so much, and sacrifice our liberation. And then we would never get to the next iteration of our dharmas, of our soul's purposes. So I believe a lot of us actually are purposely being guided and protected by God, the divine source, the universe, to sit in the mystery school of being single, to sit in that mystery school of what is it like to be so fully myself without anyone else influencing how I show up, what I say, how I dress, what I post, what I think. Like to be so fully you. and to be in it for however long it takes for that to become your norm. So when you do find someone, you don't start quivering or start to get into their head of what you think they want you to be and becoming that person. Because by doing that, not only do you end your progress, but you also end the potential impact you would have had on everyone else. Me entering into that relationship would have delayed all of the impact that I've made on all of your lives since then. So that ripple effect is real. Of like, sometimes as women, we're just like, there's this part of us that's just like, but I just want to be loved. And like, if it's between my career and love, like, of course I'm going to choose love. And there is a huge difference between capital L, like love, universal love, the energy of love, which is the purpose of our lives. It is the highest vibration. There is a difference between capital L love and lowercase love that we put into romantic relationships. And not all relationships are created equally, for show.